Hello everyone, it's Paris here. I felt like a friendly chat with you guys. There's a lot going on in my head. I love to have a chat with my friends. Now, remember the 3 baby ducks that we had here with the parents, right? So again, I reckon it's the same duckling. He's stranded again here, not in the pool this time because he's grown, but he's out. So I'll turn the camera around so you can see. Look. Little baby's here again. Again, he's gotten stuck up here. Now this red colour that's here in front of the camera, in case you're wondering, it's just from my camera cover. It's just folded. So nothing spiritual about it. So this little baby, he's here now. He's been here for at least 5 hours. And I'm waiting. I'm hoping that the parents come back because I don't want any big crows or anyone else coming for him. So he's walking around looking for his parents, but he's eating and he's okay. So I'm on duck duty again, friends, and I've got to wash some veggies, and I thought I've got to talk to my friends. I've got a lot to talk to you guys about, right, but I haven't scripted it. There's a lot of things. Now, the weather is cloudy in Melbourne. It's weird. I haven't got my stick with me, so phone's in my face. Sorry about that, and sorry if I look a bit tidy. Haven't got time to pretty myself up. Now, friends, we'll see how this will go. So let's go through pointers. Most people on Facebook, unless of course they're relatives and we know them, and even then I don't trust them. Most of them in these freedom groups, especially the freedom groups, right? I'm telling you this. Most people in the freedom groups who have either been friends on my pages or have been frequenting and commenting and making out that they don't like what's going on, most of them are not legitimate. They're undercover, they're fake, and they're just stirring the pot. That's all that's happening. And why I say that is 1, because I know that they are frauds, right, from having dealt with them, and 2, because they've dealt with me, pretended to befriend me and be friends, and then when I cornered them and I asked them to confirm certain things, they ran. Example, I had people saying, oh, I don't like what's going on, you don't want to protest, blah, 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 and then when the opportunity came for them to protest or to do something meaningful, they changed their mind. So what I'm doing here now, in between talking politics and life, is I'll turn this around. I'm at my outdoor kitchen, because I need an outdoor kitchen also. And I've got a whole lot of organic celery and the biodynamic apples down here. And what I do is I take them and I rinse them in here a couple of times, right? And that's why my hands are so stuffed, cut and everything. And just put all the celery in. And I've got to wash it for at least 2-3 times to remove any, I'm just going to wipe my hands here at the towel that I've got up here, just to remove any soils and all that, because same as us, we should not be ingesting soils and, bits and pieces from the ground. When you collect your veggies, friends, even from your garden, you've got to wash them well, because all this stuff gets stuck in your kidneys, gets stuck in your liver, in the blood system and all that, and it causes problems, Let me just lift my sleeve up for a second because I'm getting wet. So I must have at least 20 celeries here. Right, these are all organic. Here we go, organic. I've washed another 20 already, given them to the children. These are the ones inside. And then I rinse them inside with raspberry vinegar. I get raspberry vinegar. I don't use apple cider vinegar anymore because I've discovered it's crap. Right, hi Jan, how are you? So I'm just washing now some of this celery juice and rinsing it, and I thought this celery, so I'm thinking while I'm doing this, I'm going to have a chat with you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe my hands again here on the towel, and I'm going to try and put the phone in a position where you can see me, right, while I'm talking. Now friends, I hope you can see my wind chime at the back, but it's not going off, it's not very windy. Now friends, everything I say, like I've said, I've been saying from personal professional experiences, right? Okay, you might see me as a bird lady. I'm far from it. Maybe I am now, but that is not how I started off in my life. All these groups that we've joined last year, that a lot of us join and we watch, and whether it's Australian or overseas, they're all political agitators, and most of the people who pretend that they make out like they're fighting for freedom and all that, they're all undercover. They're all undercover and they're bullshit. And friends, I'm telling you, if you thought Facebook was bad, I'm not talking about people that you know as mates and stuff, like I've got good girlfriends and mates here, whatever, it's different, right? people who I met last year, the friendship hasn't lasted till this year because they said or did something that was contradictory. Example, I had a woman last year who was always commenting and pretending to be a friend online, and she was making out about being healthy and all that, and then she turns around and she opens a bar. Don't talk to me about health and stuff when you're selling alcohol, right? That's a major contradiction. And then you have other people who make out, another lady who made out that she was friendly with me and all that and understanding and blah, blah, blah. But she ended up being a bitch with me in the comments, being nasty, for no reason. For no reason. It was totally no reason. Like saying something about me being tired or impatient or I was stressed. Of course I'm fucking stressed. I'm looking after the bird souls and I'm doing 100 things at once. Of course I'm going to be fucking stressed. Right? Then I had another woman who pretended to us to be a friend, but you know, their family members are right hands of the government of these assholes who are controlling us in Australia. So they're all fake. They're all fake. And if you think Facebook is bad, friends, a lot of you say I'm getting off Facebook, can't stand the bullshit. Well, let me tell you, Facebook is a virgin compared to Telegram, BitChute, Rumble and all the other ones. You have no idea. These are just my messages coming through, not from the video, from the general posts. You have no idea, friends, how fake are these groups. I'm just moving the tap over for a second. This is my second rinse now for the celeries. Second rinse. You have no idea if you go on Telegram and all these websites and see what people are saying about what's happening in the world. Like, you listen to it and I think, okay, there's people out there that are feisty and don't like what's happening and are fighting and are saying blah, 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 I don't like this and sack that person, sack that person and whatever. Just putting the plug in, right? They are so immature with the comments and so stupid that they, one way they say, oh, you know, all the elite are doing this and this and this to us. And then they say, oh, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do this and that and whatever. And I'm thinking, that doesn't make sense. That's not how you fight negative energies. Because we're dealing with negative people, negative energies. And I've taught you last year, friends. Oops, there's a little muffin here. I don't like that. I did have a little butterfly. I'm going to put a video all up. Okay? And they're saying, oh, I'm going to do this and this and this and this. But that's not a mature way of going about it. Because if they know that the elite and other species and other human species and whatever are doing what they're doing, what they are saying is childish. People who don't know what's going on may react that way, right? People who don't know what's going on may react that way. But these are the same people that spread all the videos about, oh, you know, what the elite are doing, and what the medical people are doing, what this is going on and whatever. You can tell from the comments they're all bullshit, they're all childish, they're all stupid and immature. Because friends, you know, I used to watch more videos last year. I don't have time this year to watch videos, right, because I've got more bird rescues. And I thought to myself, I've got to get on with what I've got to do, helping people and helping whoever I can, and myself also. I got on a video again with Stephen Greer. Now, you know Stephen Greer, right? A lot of you probably know him. I just close it because I don't know if you can hear me through the tap. So, Greer, Stephen Greer. Google him. He deals with talking about extraterrestrials, UFOs and all that, right? We all know there's different planets out there. There's so many. We're not the only planet. Earth is a planet. We're not the only planet. We'd be very selfish and very dumb to think that we're the only planet in the universe. There's thousands and thousands of planets. Just watch, what do you call it, that show I used to tell you guys to watch on TV? You can watch it online too. I've forgotten the name now. Forgotten the one, what it's called. Anyway, so we all know that beings have come to the world and blah, blah, blah. And we all know that there's some of us that have got souls and some of us got black souls. And we know who's running the world, right? Black souls. But the problem is there's a lot of grey souls. And I did tell you yesterday I'm a black and white person. I'm not grey. But there are grey souls. And how do you get grey souls? Greediness, stubbornness, arrogance and narcissism. That's how you get a grey soul, because I mean, you've got the access to knowing about good things in life, you've got the access, well, we can all be bad in life too, but if you choose the greedy side and the shit side and the evil side, well, your soul's going to go grey and eventually black. And I'm not mucking around here. Anyone who watched my videos last year, especially last year, all my spiritual videos, you know what's going on. Now, talking about spiritual friends, now I'm just talking to my mates here, right? I'm not preaching anything. If you don't like what I'm saying, you just change the channel. Because I've got a lot of friends online and we like to chat and I don't have time to socialise, right? So I'm just having a chat. Friends, you know how many people out there who are like me, who think similarly to me, we think similarly about the bullshit New Age industry and what's happening, you know, spiritually and all that. And they're quiet. They're keeping quiet. Why? Because they are smarter than me and they know that it doesn't matter what I tell people who don't understand this stuff or what a lot of people are told. You're going to keep doing the bullshit that's going on Telegram. You see, this is why the big groups last year, now I've said this many times, they started up on Facebook, they collected the databases of naive, foolish people, right? I followed them at the start, but not the whole year because I realised they were all frauds. They collected the database, they collected their money, and then they didn't need the marketing that Facebook exposes them to. And then they got on the other bullshit sides, your BitChute, your Rumble, your Telegram, what's the other ones? I've forgotten the other ones. Right? And they've got people on there, and what they're doing, I'll tell you what they're achieving other than stealing your money. I'll tell you what they're stealing. You see, if you want to grow something, like this is an organic celery, right? If you want to grow something, you've got to give it attention, you've got to give it water, you've got to give it care, you've got to do it the right way so that it can become abundant, so it can prosper, right? And so that it can grow like this, a beautiful celery plant. But if you get seeds of celery and you plant them and you don't care for them or you give them the wrong vitamins, the wrong information, right? You've got the wrong information to grow them. It's not going to grow. It's going to wilt, wilt. So what's happened is these groups, like Stephen Greer says, there's one fact and two narratives. It's even more than two narratives anyway. So what's happened is a lot of you have, on these groups, have believed and trusted all these people online. And friends, today it's the 13th of October 2021, and I'm especially talking to people in Victoria and Australia, because a lot of you overseas may not know what's happening in Australia. So the water's very dirty here. So look, this is the second wash. I'm going to show you second wash, and these are organic, right? Look at the second wash. Look at the water. See how dirty it is of the second wash? See why I said you've got to wash it 3-4 times, because all that goes in the liver and the kidneys, right? So these people, what they've done is they've lured people to believe the narrative that sounds true, and that probably is true. But now they've gone undercover, they've gone quiet, because like I was saying about the celery, if you don't mentor and teach someone to go through life the right way, there's going to be a lot of obstacles in the way, right? And the obstacle now is that people, we are where we are today, friends, in Australia, 13th of October 2021, because the majority of the people who had the spunk in them to fight back and say, no, we want our freedoms, we have our human rights and all that, instead of them creating their own legitimate base, right, and groups, they have followed the elite groups. And all the groups online are elite groups or fake groups. This is what's happened. So we lost our opportunity. Because we knew from the story that restrictions, my battery's going down, just pushing the buttons, right? We knew it was big. Tell me, a year and a half later, because we've known about this from January 2020, where are we? Why are we here? So friends, when you've got experiences in life, right? Okay, like I ask myself many times, I've done this, this, and this, and this. Why aren't I where I am? So I reflect and I look back and I think, okay, I had that distraction, or I changed my mind and I changed friends, or changed jobs or whatever. What happened the past 18 months that led us to where we are now? The answer's simple. We haven't had any honest leaders, right? I'm talking about, changes and that. We're still in Mercury, the planet Mercury is in retrograde. The planet Mercury in retrograde is going to be strong until the 18th of October. So give it another 5 days, because it's the 13th of October today. Which means don't sign contracts, don't buy houses, don't buy cars, don't buy electronics, don't buy anything expensive. You really have to, for whatever reason, read over the contract 1 zillion times, because there's going to be mistakes, there's going to be things that you're going to miss, you're going to forget things. We're all hazy daisy. And I've taught you, friends, many times, is that governments make major decisions for our lives, not their lives, our lives, during Mercury and retrograde. Look at all the Mercury and retrograde dates over the past 18 months, and you'll see that all major changes and decisions were made during Mercury retrograde. Now, so you're going to tell me what happens on the 18th. So on the 18th, right, is the last day of Mercury retrograde going haywire in our lives. But add another 2-3 weeks where it's mellowing down. It's the shadow period. It's the post period. We've got the pre-Mercury retrograde 2-3 weeks, and then the post-Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde comes around 3-4 times a year, depending on when it comes. There's a week in December, a couple of weeks in January. That's why I say the 4th time, right? So please be wary of that, because don't think that it's not going to affect you. Forget it, it affects every single person. I'm just rinsing the celery seeds with my hands. I don't even wear gloves, because the gloves cause more reaction in my hands, allergic reaction, even though they're powder free and whatever free, right? So friends, so I just wanted to mention Mercury retrograde again. I just wanted to mention how you've got to clean the veggies really well. Just wanted to say about Stephen Greer. I'll put up some links. I don't know if you're getting them, because I know a lot of it. And friends, I've said to you, and I've been trying to tell you guys, and I'm not saying a lot of you don't know, you know this stuff. Facebook does not do the censoring. Governments have implemented internet laws in every single country on this planet, and they control the internet, what goes on the internet, social media, and they tell Facebook do this and this. Just like now, friends, and don't get pissed off. I'm not pissed off with any governments. I'm not pissed off with any governments. I'm not pissed off with any social media. I'm not pissed off with mainstream media. And you're going to say, why, Paris? Why aren't you pissed off with them? I'll tell you why. Because, friends, they don't know any different or any better, and they don't care for any better or different. They're doing their job. They're getting paid to do the job they're doing. What are we doing? They have the soul that they have and the mentality that they have to do what they're doing, because if they didn't like what they were doing, they wouldn't be doing it, right? So don't get angry with governments. Get angry with the average, everyday person, people in your families, in your friends, who are allowing the government to do this. Because remember, we're paying them to do all this shit, right? So don't get angry with people who are narcissists and psychopaths and don't know any different. You cannot change governments' minds. You cannot change their minds. It's all about what's in their pocket. It's all about what's in their pocket. It's how they can fill their pocket. That's all it is. Money and power. You don't have to have a lot of money to have power, right? So don't be angry with governments signing petitions, writing letters to governments. That was bullshit. When I saw that last year, I'm thinking, oh, fuck, here we go. The people who told you to do these things, to write letters to governments, I mean, not by email, of course, with letters, because the governments are building databases with all your information, right? And I've said 100 million thousand fucking times that Greece has been in lockdown for a very long time. Was it last year, earlier this year? And they've had mandatory vaccination from at least May, I think, from earlier this year. So all this talk about, oh, Victoria's the shame of the world and everyone's making fun of us. No, they're not. There's lockdowns in other parts of the world. They are lying to you, all these groups. It's distractions, distractions, distractions. And you guys listening, I make a horse noise, I do. I can make a horse noise, but I'm not going to do it now. I could do it because I feel cheeky, but I'm not going to do it. You guys who've been following these wrong freedom groups have set back my life and everyone else's life, right? I'm not blaming the government, because you guys are silly and foolish and saying, oh, we're going to lose our jobs, oh, we've got to do this, oh, we've got to do that. We knew about this stuff last year, the year before. We've known about this stuff from at least the 80s, if not before that. Right? And if you don't know about it, we've known about it from last year. So don't act surprised. I'm just going to let the celery just rinse for the 3rd time. Yeah, friends, I mean, like I said before, a lot of people aren't online, and they know what's happening in the world politically, socially, and all that. Right? I mean, it's all out there. It's all out there. And I cannot believe, because I'm pretty much alone most of the day, physically. I don't care if it's lockdowns or not. If I want visitors, I'll have visitors. If I want, I'll go visiting. I don't give a shit. I don't have time for nothing. But I talk on the phone all day, every day with a lot of people, a lot of people. And a lot of people are surrendering their parrots because they're going through physical abuse, emotional abuse, financial problems and all. They're giving up their animals. So when I'm trying to help and rehome their birds or rescue their birds, I'm not only helping their birds, I'm also trying to counsel them to help them also. Why shouldn't I? I'm a human being. Why shouldn't I help these people? Right? Sometimes, you know, I might say something to someone and that might click and that might help them in their life. What can I say? I can only try. Right, so it's not just me getting birds and that's it. I've got to deal with the owners also because there's a lot of issues going on with the owners. A lot of issues going on. That's why they're giving up the birds. Well, I'm just putting the tap here for a second. Just going to take my celeries out. I've got another 20 in here that I'm just rinsing. So friends, I just wanted to have a chat like I said about Mercury retrograde, a bit about politics and Stephen Greer. Check out Stephen Greer. If I remember, I'll put the link up on this video. Right? Now, people are ignorant to what's going on. You see, I have a bad habit of putting myself in people's shoes. Like if it's a criminal, like I love watching certain crime shows, friends. And on Sunday night, I can't remember now that detective's name, that Australian detective. What's his name? I can't remember his name. On Sunday night on Channel 7, there used to be a show till recently. I don't know if it's still on. I've forgotten his name. He was a big detective in Victoria, and he's talking about crime cases that they had. And what happens is when I watch these, I don't watch crime films. I don't like crime films. They shit. Crime films are created to instill fear in people and to emit negative energies. But I like watching crime shows because I'm curious the way detectives solve crimes. And what happens is I get my clairvoyance to kick in to see if I can second guess anything that's going on in the crime, right? I would have loved to have been a clairvoyant for solving criminal crimes because I've seen a lot of criminals, I've seen a lot of victims clairvoyantly and through my mediumship, and they've told me a lot of things that have happened to them. Anyway, that's another topic. So I watch these crime shows to see how people are thinking. Right, getting back to ignorance, people are ignorant. So what happens is I put myself in the position of criminals, I put myself in the position of children, of babies. I can literally put myself, and I'm sure many others can do this, literally. So if there's someone in front of me, I don't care who it is, good or bad person, I can literally put my brain into their brain to see what they're thinking, right, and what they're feeling. So getting back to this ignorance topic, I think that if you tell me, Paris, this grey doesn't suit you, right, you say it to me, this grey doesn't suit you, Paris, this colour, I'm going to rinse them now for the fourth time, right? You told me. So I can't be ignorant if you told me. So I'll go in the mirror and I'll say, she said the grey doesn't suit me. Maybe she's right. Or I'll ask, why doesn't the grey suit me? So I'll assess the situation. I'll research, I'll assess, whatever. I can't be ignorant because you've told me. If you haven't told me, I can't do any research to better my life, can I? So if there are people out there who have access to the internet, they obviously know what's going on because what's happening now in the world, we're going through trauma on a mass scale, trauma. Before 2020, we were going through traumas on a personal scale. Whereas now it's on a personal plus world scale. So when we're going through traumas politically, physically, mentally and whatever on a world scale, well, it's only common sense to research and to find out what's going on. There's no excuses to be ignorant. There's a saying in the legal profession, because I almost studied to be a lawyer, ignorance is no excuse. I didn't know. There's no excuse legally to say that. You can't say that. So, it doesn't hold up in court, right? So if people, in my mind, when people say, they're ignorant, they don't know, I think, okay, are they ignorant? Or have they got something to gain by shutting their mouth? Or are they scared? Some people might be scared to speak up. They might lose their public housing benefits, or disability benefits. They will lose their business grants. Because let's face it, most of the grants in Australia exist because of business grants. Well, I've worked in the business department. I know these things as a fact. And if you look at the media releases of the state governments every day, online, I get them in my email box every day. They're giving grants to businesses all the time, all the industries, right? But they're promising to anyway. But we used to give millions and millions of dollars worth of grants to businesses, all sorts of businesses, all sorts. Whether you're exploiting animals, whether you're making, alcohol, agriculture or whatever. So people, in my opinion, are not ignorant. It's because they're either, they don't care. They don't care. They want someone else to pick up the pieces for them. Sport brats. I call them sport brats, right? Or because they're making money out of it. And yes, I'm guessing that there's that small population that say, because I've heard it from family members, right? That say, what are we going to do about it? We can't do anything about it. Let others deal with it. That to me is not ignorance. That to me is assholes. Excuse my language. I'm talking to my friends now, right? I'm not talking to any professional audience, specific audience or whatever. So I've got a different view on ignorance. I've got a different view. And I understand, you've got to ask yourself, why are they ignorant? What's the reason people are ignorant? Look what's going on. Look in Victoria. It's starting to rain. It's lockdowns, restrictions and all that. How can you be ignorant when you're a human being living? Now, I'm not talking about people who are emotionally, disabled or whatever. I'm not talking about people like that. And I'm not talking about people who are sick in bed, who can't